Okay.
We are back.
Matthew, this is the ThroBak Guitar Lounge podcast number
16. Lucky, sweet 16, I guess. Not lucky.
Well, maybe it's lucky for us. We have the topic of the podcast is Telecaster Twang tone versus Fat Telecaster tone. Which pickups are best for that? And what's the best tone for you? And which is better overall? We're going to argue about that.
I like to say Telecaster Twang.
I don't have one for Fat Telecaster. Fat Telecaster.
You say it like Fat Albert.
I
want that Fat Telecaster tone.
Okay. Well, so we're under the gun, Matthew, today with the podcast because we have a gig tonight that we're shooting this Friday.
Right.
We have to drive all the way out to Newaygo to play at Smuggler's.
Very nice place.
Restaurant, bar, and grill.
Are we going to live stream the gig?
No.
We can't do that? We can't. We should pirate their
my capability.
We should pirate their Wi-Fi.
I don't think they have Wi-Fi out there, do they?
I'm sure they do.
Okay.
They've got running water out there.
Probably have to have the Wi-Fi first. Okay, so we're going to get right into it, Matthew. The again, as per the Fat Telecaster Twang versus Fat Telecaster Tone argument. We have in the ThroBak Mailbox, we have a
related question.
A question that is apropos of the subject.
Yes, and I shall read it now.
You're going to read it.
And
okay.
This question came from someone who left it from the last podcast, from podcast number 15.
So thank you. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. We read them, and if it works out, we'll try to incorporate them into the show, and this is one of them we did. So let's hear it, Matthew.
Okay, I appreciate the very thorough comparison between T-tops and earlier PAF style pickups. Next week, could you tackle this question? For Telecaster pickups, given all else being identical, magnets, wind pattern, turn count, what difference in tone and output will there be between pickups wound with 43 gauge wire and 42 gauge wire?
Okay, and we're talking about Telecaster bridge pickups.
Right.
Because all Telecaster neck pickups are 43 gauge. But for the bridge pickup, traditional Telecaster bridge pickup is 42 gauge, plain enamel wire. And but the first incarnation, the Broadcaster pickup, and a little bit into the Nocaster era, 43 gauge. What is the tone difference between those? And we have just the pickups and guitars to test this out in here, Matthew. So we will do an A-B comparison right here live on the recorded ThroBak Guitar Lounge podcast.
So
and
hear the differences.
You will hear the difference. We have two 70th anniversary Broadcaster reissue guitars. These are what, from 2018, 2019?
I believe
2020?
I believe they debuted at the 2020 NAMM show in January 2020.
Okay, and we have the ThroBak Nocaster A3 Classic set in one. That guitar has, or that pickup set has 42 gauge wire in the bridge pickup with only 3 magnets, and the other guitar has our Broadcaster A3 Classic set, which again, A3 magnets, but as per Broadcaster specifications, the bridge pickup is wound with 43 gauge wire. And the turn count between these two for our specs is, it's just 100 turns difference. So I'm gonna consider that 100 turns in the thousands of turns realm is a small amount between these. So these are essentially matched in turn count. Both guitars are about 7.5 pounds. Mm-hmm. Same era they were made.
Both ash body.
Both ash bodies, maple necks. So we will A-B those here. Matthew, you'll play one.
Okay.
I'll play another. We will go through some basic riffage, strummage,
And
musicage.
we'll go some clean,
Some clean and some dirty.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get right to that. We'll Matthew banter while I get the guitars, pass the guitars out. I'm going to give you the 43 gauge Broadcaster.
Okay.
And I will take the Nocaster. And for the viewing and listening public, if you're interested in these, and go to the ThroBak website, because of course we make these pickups along with our fine PAF and P90 reproductions, Stratocaster pickups as well. These are the Nocaster A3 Classic set, is also known as the NC-A3 Classic, and the Broadcaster A3 Classic is also known as the BC-A3 Classic. Is that all clear, Matthew?
Clear as mud.
Okay. All right, Matthew, I'll do the drum roll.
Okay.
Entertain the public while I pass out guitars here. Oh,
I have to do that
go.
drum. I think I get to take this one home today. Is that what you said earlier? Has a nice neck. It's nice.
Okay.
It's not super chunky, these reissue Broadcasters, but
No, they're kind of chunky but narrow-ish.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get you plugged in. Let's get me plugged in. We're plugging in guitars here. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So I am on right now, Matthew. I have a convenient foot switch here. Okay, we've got a couple of shots.
You got to change the.
And let's see. These are conveniently labeled 42 gauge with this post-it note. And Matthew, we'll look at you.
43.
You were 43 gauge. And again, here we'll listen to Matthew here real quick. Okay, and let's listen to me. I'll have to do some button pushing here. Okay, Matthew, I will start with a Beetle G. Do you do that one with the pinky and the...
Down here? Sure.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. So that's clean with a deluxe reverb. Now, Matthew, your turn.
There's a 43 gauge wire here. Oh, no.
Nothing? Oh, hold on here. Okay, let's get you I gotta, one more time, Matthew. That's 43. And now we'll go to 42. Now I'll play a little 42 gauge Nocaster. All right, Matthew, your turn. Little fatter on the low end with the 43 gauge. Okay, and I'll go. Oh, I've done something. Hold on.
Yeah. A little bit off. There you go.
All right, I'm back. Okay, one more time with strum. I'll do an E here, Matthew, 42 gauge. Okay, 43 gauge for you. Okay. All right, let's get a little dirt here. Back to the 42 gauge. This is a Noble. We're playing a Deluxe Reverb, our 79 Deluxe Reverb. Should we show it with the amp cam here,
Sure.
Matthew, to keep the viewing public interested? Matthew's showing it off with his well manicured hand, and we'll go back here to. That's the 42. Matthew. That's 43. I will finish it up with a little 42 gauge. I'm not sure if you can. Let's switch guitars here, Matthew. I'll play the same thing with the 43. So,
Do you want to leave this plugged in?
Yes.
Here you go.
Well, no, actually.
Unplug it.
Yeah, unplug it.
Okay, here.
Here we go. We'll swap that. And here's your here's a cord in case we go back to that. Okay. Now this is a 43 gauge. Okay, I can tell it's fatter. You know, there's a difference with playing, sort of like attack for different players, but. Right, that's a 43 gauge. Should we do 42 gauge one more time?
Sure.
All right. Hand me that, and then we'll be done with this. Just okay. I've got it back with now the 42 gauge. Oh yeah, you can tell the difference. You have to do that if you get a telly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that is the A/B comparison. Matthew, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, you can tell the difference. There is a fatter sound with the 43.
With yeah,
it's a little more drive.
Yeah, and but the 42 gauge, a little more articulation.
Yep.
And a little more treble content across the board, low to high. Mm-hmm. But and I think even though I think you get more drive out of the 43 gauge, it almost sounds like the 42 gauge is a little louder, I think, slightly because of the extra treble content. Maybe I'm imagining that, but okay. Let me put those back, and here's our... All right.
Guitars are away.
Okay. We're back. And that brings us to Matthew. That brings us to the next segment, Matthew. Is this the third Rorschach Riffs in a row?
Yes, it is, yes.
This is a recurring theme, the Rorschach Riffs with Matthew. And if you're not familiar with Rorschach Riffs, I have yet to do this, but Matthew has, in fine form and fashion, crafted 4 licks into one.
Well, I just
four
copied
riffs?
them. They're well known.
Yeah, well known. But it's our job as the viewers and listeners, to decipher, pick out, name
In order. That's important.
the 4 songs that these come from.
Right.
And okay, Matthew. Let's see. You got any? Let's see. Can we hear you here?
Let's see.
All right. Let me turn you on here. Oh, here we go. You need a little more output there.
Yeah, a little more. Give me a little more dirt.
That's interesting. The P90s are actually a little lower output than the Telecaster stuff. Oh, you weren't turned up.
I was just slightly. Yeah, much one just off 10.
Okay, so
That's good.
do you want clean or dirty, Matthew?
Dirty.
All right. You were going to Rorschach Riff, and I'm going to take notes because I find I have to do that. But you'll get to the 3rd riff, and I'll forget the 1st. So, you ready?
I think I'm ready.
I hope the viewing public is ready for this. 4 licks, rapid succession, melded together with the seamless skill that only you, Matthew, well, maybe everybody else can too. Maybe we can get the viewing public in on this as well.
It'll start a fad.
It's okay. So your ink blot, Rorschach Rift, right now. Okay,
Ready?
the pressure's on. Okay, I'm ready. Okay. 2 is okay. I'm drawing a blank on 1. 3 you've used before.
Have I?
Yeah, I think so, and I forgot the name of the song again.
No, did I? Have I used that one?
Well, I think on our first incarnation of we did one episode before the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you've recycled that one, but I still don't remember this. I know who does the song.
Do you know the original?
Okay,
lyrics?
yeah, I do, but I don't want to tell anybody.
No.
So let's hear it again.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. There's 4 there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I remember the name of the 3rd one. Okay. Now the first one I'm drawing a blank on. That seems like it could be many songs. Can I hear the first one again?
Okay, 1980. You know the band?
English or American? Or Australian?
It's a little bit of mix. There's somebody from the UK in there, somebody from, well, I think they emigrated, but I think they were from Australia.
Oh. Well, okay, so that's actually kind of thought it was that band. I can't pin the song. Does this band start with an A?
Yes.
Okay, and it's 4 letters and a forward slash.
Yes.
Damn it. Play it one more time. Okay. Okay, I don't think this is it, but maybe I'm right.
But you don't need to hear the whole thing again, just this first
Well,
one.
for everybody, let's hear it one more time.
Let's get this out of my way a little bit. Hang on.
It sounds like you threw in. It sounds like you threw in another Rolling Stones song in there, but maybe I'm just hearing similarities between Rolling Stones songs.
For the last one, it was a kind of a live version of that song from the 1991 record.
Okay. Now, I don't want to spoil it for everybody, so if you don't know yet, cover your ears. I'm going to give my best guesses to these. Okay, the first one's obviously AC/DC.
Yes.
Is it a touch too much?
No.
Damn it. Don't tell me yet.
Okay. Now it's from the 1980 record with the.
It's from. Play it again.
So it's the new vocalist.
Okay. I don't know. Okay. Second one's obviously LaGrange by ZZ Top. Third one is Bo Diddley. Is it Cracking Up?
Yes.
Okay, I remembered.
But I'm kind of doing the
you're doing the Paul McCartney version of it?
Yeah, it's a little more distorted, but I think it's very close.
Okay, For His Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. But it starts with the same with Hang Fire.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
I'm copying the live version from the Flashpoint record 91. They kind of do.
You suppose that
Hang on.
You suppose they went from Hang Fire into Satisfaction on the album or live?
I don't know. The way they kind of do a little pump up for it.
Okay.
And then they're kind of riffing on it, and then they go into because you're not sure what it is, and then they go right into the riff. So everybody.
Well, do you know what I mean? Hang Fire sort of kind of starts the same way.
Yeah. Oh, I do.
Okay, so play the first one more time.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. All right. I don't know it. I know it. I'm sure I know it, but I did. My brother had that album. I didn't have it, and he probably didn't let me listen to it. Actually, he did, but I was more of a Bon Scott guy.
Oh,
I had
more of a purist.
I had. Well, let's see. One brother had Let There Be Rock, and the other brother had Highway to Hell and Power Age, I believe.
Wow.
And The Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Okay, what is it?
Okay, it's What Do You Do for Money, Honey?
Okay.
So it's on the Back in Black record, but it's
yeah.
There's like I don't know how many songs on that record you can pull licks out of that are pretty good.
All right. Well, thank you. Well done, Matthew. I hope that the Rorschach Riffage has satisfied the viewership.
Pull that out.
I'll shut that off here. I'll mute it. Okay. All right. Well, I'll give you a drum roll. Let's see. Where's your... There. Oh, it's a little late. There's your dramatic guitar storage move.
Drum roll.
Okay. All right, Matthew, that brings us to the Guitargument. And the Guitargument, we're going to follow the Guitargument up, and and of course the Guitargument here is let's see, I've written it down: Twang Telecaster Pickups versus Fat Telecaster. Which tone is best?
Right. So it's 42 gauge versus 43 gauge wire.
Well, it's a little more complicated than that.
Is it?
Yeah, because so your typical Fat Telecaster pickup is often 43 gauge wire plus, or it could be 42 and a lot more winds on it. But I think very often it's a 43 gauge. But a twangy Telecaster pickup is generally going to be 42 gauge and the low end of the turn count for a Telecaster. So in our earlier segment, I didn't mention what the resistance was for the Nocaster A3 Classic 42 gauge set and the Broadcaster A3 Classic. That the Nocaster 7.6K with 42 gauge wire, and the Nocaster's 9.7K with 43 gauge wire. And again, that difference in resistance is really just due to the difference in wire. There's 100, I think there's 100 turns more maybe on the Nocaster. I got to look at the spec sheet, but essentially same. But a Twangy Telecaster bridge pickup is going to be 42 gauge wire. And with our sets, our twangiest of the bunch is 6.6K rather than 7.6K, our T-54 A5 bridge pickup. Some of this is for the cool down, but also the A5 for the Telecaster twangier than A3. I think that's settled. I feel strongly about that. Okay. So for the Guitargument, Matthew, here, we will argue for 5 minutes. I'm going to argue for the Fat.
Well, I got the
Fat Telecaster tone, and you've got the Twang.
Mm-hmm.
So we're starting 5 minutes right now. You want to start with the Twang?
Sure.
Okay. You twang.
You can attack me, but the Twang Telecaster pickup. It was when Leo Fender got it right. He started with the 43, but then quickly realized his error and changed the 42. Came to the right conclusion with the magnets a little by 54 or so. But it's what everybody sort of responds to in that traditional Telecaster twang sound. So you're talking the Bakersfield sound. You're talking Buck Owens and his Buckaroos. Mm-hmm. And who was his guitar player? Dan? Was it Don?
Is Don Rich?
Don Rich, I believe. Yep. Yeah.
With a Sparkle Telecaster. Yeah. There's clips of him with this. It's pretty cool.
But you're what you're looking for with that sound is the more pronounced sort of high end sparkle. It has lots of clarity. It cuts through. It gives you that that sort of telly bite and twang.
Otherwise known as ice pick, right, Matthew?
Well,
pain.
If you want to talk blues, it's a great blues player, Albert Collins.
Oh, that's true. You can't argue with that as a classic twangy, bitey tone.
Yeah.
Literally, he's called the
Iceman.
The Iceman.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the first albums I got in the blues genre was is it Ice Pickin'?
Ice Pick. Do you have that on?
I've got it on vinyl.
Oh, I bought that on cassette.
Yeah, I saw him on PBS. Used to play a lot of blues stuff, and I think BET did also, but they had him playing live. It was pretty good. Big fan of Albert Collins, and he started playing a B3 organ, I think. Totally aside from the Guitargument, but okay. So your assertion here is, Matthew, that the Telecaster twang, despite its the challenges associated with a highly treble response, is the pure sound of the Telecaster and what everyone has grown to know and love, not the rare Broadcaster 43 gauge fatter tone that was rightly corrected by Leo Fender early on when he had to rename the Broadcaster the Telecaster, and through act of divine inspiration, he chose the right gauge of wire to make the Telecaster twang even more.
You're making my argument for me. Yes, thank you.
Well, my feeling, Matthew, is that the Fat Telecaster is the most desired of the Telecaster tones, and so much so that there has been a long history of rock guitar players pulling out their harsh trebly ice picky bridge pickups, Telecaster 42 gauge bridge pickups, to replace them with 43 gauge Fender lap steel pickups that are essentially a Broadcaster pickup without the metal plate. And they would people would take these out, modify them, put the plate on the Telecaster plate on the pickup, and now you have that fat tone that is so desired that Leo Fender mistakenly erased from the Telecaster universe when he created the 42 gauge bridge pickup. What kind of tones do you think are associated with that 43 gauge Broadcaster pickup, Matthew? Some of those tones you played in your Rorschach Riffs. Keith Richards.
Oh, well, yeah, you got a good
probably
point.
the most well-known, probably the pioneer of replacing treble Telecaster bridge pickups with lap steel pickups. I believe he did that.
Is that true?
I believe so. I believe that's his thing. I think he has them now custom made, but essentially I think that's what he's doing. He's putting in a fat bridge pickup in those guitars because that's the great rock tone. Not to be confused with the refined. Oh, we're up. Time's up. Refined, maybe more polite Telecaster, classic Telecaster 42 gauge pickup. Okay, we're done with that, Matthew. What are our real feelings? Our impressions of? We're getting the cool down phase of this now. In the cool down phase,
clean.
We are going to actually, we're going to do the A/B comparison again.
Oh, fun!
Because I have
more guitars.
I have another Telecaster that's 7.5 pounds. It has our 54 T-54 set, which is our 6.6K, twangiest of the bunch, A5 Telecaster. So we'll compare that against our Broadcaster-A3 Classic. But any thoughts about what?
Well, I tend to like. I think my ideal guitar would be probably a Broadcaster style pickup, like an Esquire setup. So you just have one pickup, two knobs,
one fat pickup.
Yeah,
one fatter, and two, the fatter in the Telecaster realm. It's still got some twang to it. It's still got some bite.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a characteristic of the design of the guitar.
Yeah. So
that I think that is why the Fat Telecaster pickup matches so well with it. Although, to be fair, with I love regular Telecaster pickups too, the 42 gauge variety. Now, Alnico 3 is a fatter sound in a Telecaster style pickup, rod magnet pickup, than A5. A5's twangier, brighter.
Mm-hmm. It's more power.
More power too, but
you said it's about twice.
Alnico 5 rod magnets are almost twice the magnetic strength or Gauss of Alnico 3, and so you get a spikier treble response from the Alnico 5. Plus you get a faster, brighter attack and punchier sound, but you get sort of a little extra dynamic juice out of the A3 in a Telecaster pickup, I guess is the way we would describe it. But to be fair though, with a twangy Telecaster low output pickup, it doesn't have to be harsh, and that really comes down to the materials you use and the winding pattern that you use. And also the Telecaster's got a tone knob. It's quite effective. So these are sort of challenges that are easily overcome. But the fat Telecaster pickup or Broadcaster is desirable, and that's why a lot of guys 4 years did switch out to lap steel pickups if they could do it. I think I heard G.E. Smith's an interview with him saying that he had done that as well. And I think his signature guitar kind of had his version. Fender, well, he requested, if I'm correct about this, I believe he requested a hotter lap steel type bridge pickup without the plate on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
he did. I remember that guitar. His signature guitar had a cut down bridge.
Yeah.
And then the dot inlays were like a lap steel.
Oh, okay. That I think I'm remembering it correctly. Then that was kind of part of it. I think he was like melding this mod into his of switching out the bridge pickup to a lap steel pickup. He was sort of melding that into his signature guitar. Okay, Matthew, I am going to grab the two guitars here, and we are going to. Oh, there's your drum roll.
Yeah, that GE Smith, they're quite desirable now. We can't get them. They're not made anymore, so the price on those has gone way up. That signature model. I remember trying one of those out.
I don't know if I ever saw one of those in a store.
I saw one at I think they had a used one at Elderly and Lansing. That's where I tried one out, I think.
All right, I found my pick here. Okay, so let me. You're plugged in?
I'm plugged in, so.
Okay, so we'll run down here what we've got, and we'll try to. So we're going to try to demonstrate just the difference that the pickups can make in the kind of the level of Telecaster twang. And so, Matthew, your guitar here is that is a 2001 vintage reissue Telecaster with our T-54 set in it, and the bridge is 6.6K. And in my guitar, I've got the 42 gauge Broadcaster. We're playing clean right now, and make sure your tone and volume is up all the way. Yep. So I've got the 43 gauge here, 9.7K. Matthew's 6.6K
with A5.
With A5. So I'll play a G, a D, and an A. Matthew, I'll switch to you. Oh, hold on here. There, go ahead.
Yep.
Oh, I've done it again somehow.
The little blue light's off. There you go.
Okay, Matthew, I'm going to go back to me.
You can really see the power of yours.
Yeah,
it's a lot more.
It's louder too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, back to you, Matthew. That's the 42 gauge 6.6K T-54 set, and this is a 43 gauge 9.7K. Let's try it with dirt. 43 gauge Broadcaster, 9.7K. 45, 42 gauge. Okay, I'll again, 42 gauge, 43 gauge, 9.7K one more time. Okay, I will try to my one country lick, solo-ish lick that I ever tried to figure out. I will probably screw it up, but we will try that.
Was this your Nashville audition lick?
Okay, let me try that.
Good.
Let me try with the other one. Okay. All right, that was the Broadcaster A3 Classic set BCA3 with the 9.7K 43 gauge bridge pickup, and this is the 6.6K T-54 bridge pickup, 42 gauge wire, A5 magnets, A3 for the Broadcaster A3 Classic. Okay. Hopefully this sounds twangier. No, I forgot how to play the lick, right? That's definitely twangier, wouldn't you say?
Go to the
You want the clean?
go to the clean.
All right. Let's,
then let me-
you want to play, or you want?
Yeah, I want to play the just play that one little.
You want me to do the same thing again?
Well, no, just do this one little thing. Throw me on for a second.
Okay.
Here we go. So do the little funny little thing.
Okay.
Now you do that.
Yeah, it's definitely lower output too, and these are adjusted the same height.
Right.
It's a more refined tone. It's a very nice tone, but it's really good.
Yeah.
But it's not the it's not so much the hard rockin' driving sound.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, we'll put these away. You think we've done the Guitargument justice here
Yes.
with the demonstration, Matthew?
I do.
Okay.
I think it was a good demonstration.
Okay. Let's let me put these away, and we will get on to your musical musings here. I'll do the appropriate drum roll here.
We need to have like a different sound effect, maybe like a baby crying when the guitars have to go away.
Yeah, that's right, because we're sad.
Or do you know that one Instagram one where the little kid's always trying to grab for something, and then there's a voice saying no, and then he starts crying.
Oh,
He wants something.
they could be 5,000 Instagram posts probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cute kid. Okay, so Matthew, we're done with the Guitargument. We're going to go in the cool down. We're going to go on to your musical musings, Matthew.
Okay.
You have many musical musings.
But this
In
one,
fact, maybe a myriad of them. But today we'll hear one and hopefully not monosyllabic tones.
what does that mean?
I'm trying to get as many M's in there as possible. I'm
okay.
sorry. Okay. So now I do know something about this musical musing because you had me pull up on the internet. Do you want me to bring that up now? This is a
Not yet.
Okay.
I'll talk. So I just thought I don't know. I just sort of thought maybe it's the time of the year and things, kids going back to school, and I've missed most of the summer superhero blockbuster films. I've seen none of them. I think I've been to a couple of films this summer. I can't remember the last one that I went to, but I didn't see any of the big ones. So none of the Marvel or the DC, whatever was out there this summer. So I began to think, I wonder if there's ever been a guitar playing superhero.
You feel there should be if there hasn't been, right?
Yeah, I think there should be.
Would he? Eddie Van Halen would have made a good guitar player superhero character.
That
when he's got it's got like there's already action built into that in the paint job, with the stripes and everything.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Because then you wonder, like,
very good at posing with guitar in a very sort of like action packed way. He's jumping around.
Well, it would be good, and it would be a good explanation. Like, where did this guy come from?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he would. He was. Where did that force,
that technique
appear from? Yeah. That he was able displayed like no one before him.
Yeah. So
there's some story there, isn't there?
I think there could be. They could do a whole series.
You could do a whole backstory about what would the backstory be.
Well, he's definitely from another planet.
He'd be from another planet.
Orphaned, came to Earth.
He would be from another planet, but he would have had to get the power from some other source that was sort of infused to him to have this musical quality. So maybe it was some sort of like epic animal bird on another planet that had this amazing song and ability to express itself. I don't know. I'm getting too deep into that, it sounds like. But okay, I've sidelined you there with your musical musings. It's not John's musical musings, it's Matthew's.
Well, that's okay. That's good to discuss that. So I did a little digging, and I am not an expert on the Marvel universe or the DC comic universe, but I did a little digging. And there is a character, you can put that up now. There was a character that premiered. Okay. His name was Rick Jones.
Rick Jones, the famous Rick Jones.
And he has appeared in a number of Marvel comics and playing different characters. But he first appeared, this was, I thought, an interesting little tidbit. Rick Jones was the guy, he was a friend of Bruce Banner, and he appears in the first Hulk. He inadvertently set off the gamma bomb that created the Hulk.
So he's a klutz.
Somehow
we're supposed to buy that this guy can play the guitar great.
Well, his backstory is kind of
accidentally set off a gamma bomb that turned the Incredible Hulk into this green monster.
He was a friend that he's one of those friends that is kind of like, oh, did I make a mistake there? Did I?
Oh, here we can.
Now this one, I think
we can get a closer look at him right there.
Yeah. So he's singing a very kind of strange song there about what is it? Champagne people drink their wine.
Never knowing what's by the way, I searched for a song by Rick Jones,
and there are none.
Marvel missed their opportunity with this guy.
But
wait a minute, is he? So he's got is he the there? This is from 1974, but he's like dressed like James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause.
I don't know if that's a reprint. Because I don't know the whole series, and they would reprint various issues.
Well, that's 70s hair there. Look at the woman above, just awestruck.
Actually, you're probably right, because if you look at the references too,
74.
There's a reference to Alice Cooper and what have you.
Yeah.
So that's probably it's from the early 70s. And he makes a comment too, I'm not glam rock. He's a folk artist. That's the other thing. He's a sensitive singer-songwriter, folk artist. He wasn't.
And this didn't last? In 1974,
I guess not.
They Marvel Deep Sixth Rick Jones.
Yeah,
his name's so memorable.
But the guitar was handed down from his father. He's sort of self-taught, but that was his connection to his parents die somewhere, and that's his connection to.
Do you suppose Rick James was a fan of this, and he thought, I can't be Rick Jones, but I can be Rick James?
Maybe.
Was that his real name? Was that Rick James' real name? Probably.
But I did find too that there was another Marvel comic as late as like this past year, this spring, where he appears in and I don't know if he's playing guitar because he's done different things over the years, but the character reappeared again in another Marvel comic.
So this never was a series. This was just a character that appeared periodically. Yeah. Okay, well, with lyric writing like that, I can't imagine why.
But I think the Marvel Universe, maybe they're missing the boat. Maybe they need to focus on Rick Jones, give him his own story, his own origin story movie, and we could maybe fill in and do the consulting for what guitars he should.
Yeah.
Because look at this guitar here that he's playing.
That's not even. That's a very cartoonish guitar.
Yeah.
It has the sound hole right next to the bridge. The frets get wider as it gets closer to the bridge.
And then the top of the headstock is totally whack.
Yeah.
So, and it looks like it's got a pickup on it or something, but who knows what's going on there.
Okay, is there more to this musing, Matthew?
No, but there's an opportunity. That's what I'm trying to say.
You're getting passionate about this.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Rick Jones deserves his place in the Marvel pantheon.
In the Marvel universe,
instead of the Marvel broom closet.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, Matthew, you in your free time, maybe you can go on to giving Rick Jones his due.
There you go.
Okay. You have Matthew. We're through we're through your musical musings. Mm-hmm. We're on to tools and tips. I almost forgot about this. Now, the tool is a supply. I guess it's a supply. It's used as a tool, and this is sort of an offshoot of the polishing stick that I suggested in a previous episode. But this is. Matthew, are you ready for it?
I am.
It's Micromesh.
My favorite. This stuff is great. I do like Micromesh.
It's Micromesh. Now, see, we have a big roll of it here. Now, you don't need the big roll. I bought this years ago. It's this fabric. So
on the other side too.
Yeah. So it's a fabric backed, sort of wet sandpaper alternative. But it's better than wet sand in the sense that since it's fabric backed, you don't have the problem so much of like a sharp edge of the sandpaper creating kind of an extra abraded part if you're doing sort of finish retouching and also too very often you don't need to get it wet for it to work effectively, and there's a much broader range of grits with it. So this comes, this is a roll of the stuff we've got. We've got a couple of grits of this, but what viewers, if they're interested in this, really need is a kit, and it comes as a kit on Amazon where you get the sort of full range of grits to do just about anything you want, and I'll see if I can locate that. Okay. Right there. So I'll put a link to this. This comes with a little sort of sponge backer block for retouching and if you're going to kind of work on a finish, it'll have a soft block so that you can take advantage of the flexibility of this stuff. But the grit range for this is at its finer grit, which is the lightest color that you see. It's nearly polished at that point. I mean, it's so highly, the grits go so fine that you get nearly a buffed finish by the time you're done with the finished grit, the finest grit, and it just really, you can finish it off with kind of a hand buffing with either a light rubbing compound or even something like Virtuoso Cleaner is enough. And it's useful to have this if you're interested in maybe aging metal parts or taking some of the gloss off of a nickel part or a chrome part. I would start with the finest grit and work your way towards kind of the level of sort of scratched up surface that you want. But since this is a fabric backed abrasive, you can kind of do you can do what appears to be a more random look to any scratches that you put on it when you would compare it to something like wet sandpaper,
right,
or a Scotch-Brite pad. So if you were mixing old hardware, new hardware with old hardware, this is a good way to kind of prep the finish for it. And even if you're aging something like a nickel part in acid fumes or something like that, the first step you want to do anyway is to take the gloss off, off the nickel, because this is one way to do it. Is you can use the micromesh to just make very, very fine scratches in the gloss of the part, and then once you put it in something that's going to tarnish the nickel, you've kind of gotten rid of that glossy layer, so that the whatever sort of agent you're using to age the nickel gets a chance to kind of bite into it. Mm-hmm. If you don't do that, you'll get very often you'll just get a very kind of like strangely blotchy finish to the aging, to the tarnishing. So anyway, I'll put a link to this in the list of ThroBak tools links, and that'll be available for anyone that wants to get that. But this is $33. This little kit would last you for years, honestly. If you're doing it kind of like a home hobbyist, it's going to last quite a while. You can use the sheets as wet sandpaper also, and they're washable. The other part of it is too, wet sandpaper will get clogged. This stuff does not get clogged the way wet sandpaper does. In fact, when I'm using it, I'm wearing an apron. If I'm using it dry, I'll just like brush it, a couple of ways on my apron, and that cleans it off. This stuff does not, it's very hard to get this clogged with whatever you're sanding. And if it does start to get clogged, you just kind of brush it off. Lasts quite a while. Did you say you would wash the... You can wash it. Yes, you can wash it. You can literally wash it. Yeah. Really? And you just wash it. You just take another... How do you do it? How do you wash it? You just underwater or with a little soap. Really? I rarely do that, but you can wash it. You can wash it. Yeah. Actually, I heard about this initially years and years and years ago at a violin workshop. And so the traditional, if you're really, really into making violins, the traditional way to sand stuff has been shark skin. Really? And with a violin purist would never use sandpaper when they're making it, because shark skin it works differently in that the way shark skin works is, if you looked at it under a microscope, there's lots of little, it's a lot of little sort of like triangular, not razors, but little sharp things, and it cuts in one direction. And rather than sandpaper, which sandpaper basically chews it up, chews up the surface, shark skin is like, it's like having, millions of little tiny planes shaving off the surface of the wood. So it actually leaves a much cleaner surface as far as, like with a violin top, a spruce top, it's very porous, or sort of the pithy wood, the growth, the wood between the growth rings is very soft. And if you use regular sandpaper, it just chews it up, and it chews out that softer space between the growth rings. And you don't want that with the violin.
Right.
So if you have to sand something, the routine would be use a scraper, but if you have to sand it, use shark skin. So the great Ed Campbell had this for sale there and said that this works like shark skin in terms of how it removes material. It doesn't chew it up; it slices it off. Plus, it has the added benefit that instead of shark skin working in just one direction, this will work in every direction. So, anyway, that's another benefit of it for the violin maker. Okay, so that's it. That is the tool and tip. And again, look for that in the ThroBak link section. Whoop. We're at the outro section of the show, and we gotta pack up for the gig.
We gotta get going.
We gotta get going. We gotta be out of here by
soon.
Well, we gotta get some water, and we gotta Todd, one of the ThroBak
team members.
He's the guy who packs up the strings. He's gonna be there. When will he be there? He's supposed 3:30?
3:30.
Unpacking stuff. We don't want Todd to be alone.
No, well,
he deserves our help. Well, he usually deserves our help. No, he always deserves. Very nice guy, very hardworking young man. So maybe I'll film some of this and we can share it in a future episode. A little clip of us playing our little band.
Be kind of fun.
Okay. Thanks everybody for watching.
For another episode.
And like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Thank you all for watching.
Thanks.